And this white guy approached me, and he was British, and I just I just loved his accent. Hey guys, my name is Aldacia Johnson, if you don't know me, and today I'm gonna talk about my experience of dating out of my race, because I did this Q&A and someone asked me if my husband is the first white guy I've dated. I'm like, nope, that's not the first guy. So I thought I could just do a story time and tell you my experiences and how many guys I've dated. And yeah, and this is gonna be my YouTube channel where I talk about relationships, I talk about motherhood. I recently just gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, Nolan, so I'll share those experiences here. And also what else? Yeah, you know, I love beauty. I want to look good as a mom, as hard as it is, because you spend most of your time looking after your child. So but you should also look after you. You know, the best advice I once got from one of the baby showers I attended, even though they were not telling me, probably they also told me in my baby shower, is that when you as a mom, you are good, then your baby will be good. So it's important for us as moms to take care of ourselves, and then we are able to take care of the young ones. Okay, enough about motherhood. I'm not here to talk about motherhood. I'm here to talk about my experiences with me dating a white guy the first time. Okay, let me take you back to my childhood. So I was born in Tzaneen, and Tzaneen, it's the north of Limpopo, where literally, I think even now there's still a bit of racism. You know, there's a lot of Afrikaners here. I'm not saying all Afrikaners are racist, but some, you know. So when I was born there, growing up as a kid, obviously for some reason I still have a good relationship with my mom's boss. Obviously my mom worked for a white person most of the time. She worked as an admin clerk, she worked as receptionist at some point, like different roles, but for some reason we were friends. They treated her very well. We used to literally go and sleep over and play with my mom's boss kids. So for that, I think it made me not to have some kind of bad attitude towards white people. Obviously, when we know the history of South Africa, there was apartheid. So for me, I knew apartheid, I knew about my history, but also I experienced a different what do you call, I had a different experience with my mom boss as a white person. So in my mind, or just knowing that, okay, not all white people are racist and not all white people are bad. So I was open to, okay, I'll be okay with any human being as long as they're not racist and they're not bad people, regardless of their race. So I grew up with that kind of mindset. I remember when I was young, when we went to town, this other white boy was flirting with me and giving me a sweet and all that. That was so cute. Obviously I dated black guys, and they literally were breaking my heart because most of them were cheating. My relationship was not even lasting for 3 months, and I found out that they're cheating. I dumped their asses. Ish, my tea's gonna be cold by the time I drink it. So I remember some friends of mine, they're like, oh, you need to keep a man. Oh my god, you always like your relationship don't last. I was like, why can't a man keep me? Why am I supposed to be the one who keeps a man? And honestly speaking, I'm not gonna be in a relationship for the fact of like being in a relationship while I'm not happy. There's this song I used to actually even like when I was young. I don't remember the artist, but it goes by, I'd rather be alone than be unhappy. So that was like my motto. If I'm not happy in a relationship, I'm out, you know, whether you're cheating on me or something, like, and I'm unhappy, I was just out. So okay, then comes to Joburg. When you're in Joburg, people are dating out of their race. When I was in Tzaneen, I mean, I dated one of two white guys when I was in tertiary, but it wasn't real. It was not a real date, because one guy was a little bit older. I was like, oh no. When I say older, he was in his 30s and obviously I was like 19, 20, and that was like old when you're in your 30s. And I just feel like he was just dating black girls for, I don't know, he had a fetish, so I don't think it was a real thing. Ugh, we didn't even like, he tried to kiss me, but I was like, ah. And I did tell him that I'm a virgin, and obviously I grew up in church, so yeah, I was a virgin most of my youth. So this white guy, I told my mom didn't even approve. I also didn't really like him, so I dumped him. So there was one guy that was living here in Joburg. I bumped into him in Sanin, and we ended up being like friends, and he wanted us to date. But I think he was telling me that maybe no, actually met his dad. His parents were not racist. But the fact that I told him that I'm a virgin, he was like, oh, you're not experienced, and I don't want to push you in these things, and I don't want to date a virgin. And also it was kind of like a 10 off. Some guys, so interesting, it's a 10 off when you're a virgin. And also the fact that his life was in Joburg and I was based in Limpopo. So yeah, but we had like few days like spending time together and eating out. It was nice. I don't even remember his name. And then when I came to Joburg, I realized like interracial dating, interracial relationships are just normal, especially where I lived in Joburg and Sandton. So it was not Sandton and Rosebank, it's just normal. And I was like, okay, cool. But I don't think I was like, oh, I want to date a white person. I think it was because I was heartbroken. This black guy really broke my heart. Like I wanted to kill myself, and I was just like, you know what, why can't I try to date something different? Maybe I wouldn't have to deal with all this bullshit of being cheated on and all that. So I went to a club. I remember I went to a club with one of my friends, Tembi, and this white guy approached me, and he was British, and I just I just loved his accent. So like, oh, the accent. I don't know if I should mention names, but I'm sure he's gonna watch this. Yeah, he was, yeah, if you didn't know, he was my first white guy that I dated. And he was tall. I'm really into tall guys, so that attracted me to him. And also he was good looking, and I remember he's like, what do you want to drink? Let me buy you a drink. And I was just, because I was scared obviously to date out of my race, so I just like, I drink champagne, because I thought he would just run away and think, oh, this girl is a gold digger, or she's expensive. So he's like, okay, let me get you, which one? I was like, Moe, and he got me, and we were like drinking champagne. He was buying all the champagne. I was like, oh, this guy, okay. And he's like, after we drank, like before the club closes around, I don't remember, 3 a.m. or something, and he was like, let's go to my place. I was like, what? I was so scared, thinking, no, this guy is crazy, because he was not even dressed up. He was very dressed simple. So I was like, maybe he wants to kill me or something. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to your place. And he even got offended. He's like, I thought me and you have a thing. I bought you champagne. Why don't you want to go with me? Blah, blah, blah. I remember, actually, my ex was even in the club, and my ex came through and was like rescuing me from him. But we ended up exchanging the number, me and this white guy. I was like, okay, no, like for real, I don't feel comfortable going to your place. We'll talk tomorrow. We have to do a proper date. He's like, okay. Then he said he lives like 5 minutes away from the club, and I was also living 5 minutes away from the club, which means we're all living like in Sandton, so not far from each other. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll see you tomorrow. Take me out on a proper date. So cool. And then tomorrow comes, and I tell my friends, I'm like, I met this guy and he wants to take me on a date. It's a white guy, blah blah. Okay, cool. And I didn't care by that, because I was going through like breakup, as I told you. So we went on a date. I remember he asked me which restaurant I want. I chose Pihale in Sandton. Also was trying to scare him off, you know, one of the expensive restaurants. And he's like, cool, and we went there, and I ordered the most expensive seafood just to scare him again, because I just didn't care. And then fine, and we sat and we were talking, and I was very honest with him. I'm like, look, I'm really I just broke up with my boyfriend. I'm hurt. I'm not looking for a serious relationship, so if I'm gonna date you, you're literally gonna be my rebound. So the guy was like, no, perfect, fine, I'm happy to be your rebound, actually, because I'm just here in South Africa. I don't know for how long. I'm from London, so I'm here for like work reason. Maybe my contract's like 6 months or a year, I don't remember. It was for 6 months or for a year. I'm like, cool, so you're here, you're not looking for something serious, and I'm looking for a rebound. Okay, great, not something serious. I remember the entire date, literally I was talking about my ex and crying. It was such a bad date, oh my god. And then the poor guy didn't mind, and man, we used to go out. He used to like cooking. He lived in one of the like luxurious apartment, what is it called, I forgot what it's called. We used to like, I used to go to his place. He cooks for me, he'll play guitar, he buys champagne because he knew I love champagne, and we'll drink and like watch the sunset. And yeah, and it was really scary for me, obviously, for the first time to be intimate with him. But I realized that I think it was also his first time dating a black girl. But I was very just open and being myself because I didn't have any expectation from him. But I kind of liked him, but I was like not crazy about him. And so he didn't have expectations, so it was just an easygoing relationship, and it was actually not bad, or it was just normal like any other guy. And yeah, the poor guy, we dated, but he was not physically, oh my god, he was emotionally abusive, and he was an asshole. Like, he was just not a nice or kind person. I remember, because I would always like WhatsApp my friend. I'm like, yo, I'm done with this guy. Like, I don't even know why I'm here. I can't really exactly like tell you the details or explain exactly, but I just knew he's not the right guy for me, but I knew he had a problem with his upbringing, and he was very insecure. It's hard to date an insecure guy regardless of the race, so that was a huge thing. And oh my god, if I don't eat his meals, he'll be so angry at me. He's like, oh, I spend so much time cooking for you, but I didn't ask him to cook for me. And if I'm like late, he's like, come, let's watch the sunset, and maybe I'm 30 minutes, oh, you missed the sunset, and he was so angry at me. I'm like, this guy, what the hell? Like, his anger was something else. So I was just like, he made me think like, oh, British guy are just assholes. So I was just like, no, I can't. I remember how I dumped him. This story. So he had money. He really had lots of money. He even told me how much he was getting paid. I think he was getting paid like 200,000 per month after deduction of tax and everything. Back then, that was like 8 years ago. Then the guy was like, okay, let me take you to this best restaurant. I think I'm the one who suggested. I'm like, oh, there's this place I've never been. I had that opera was there, a hotel, the Saxon Hotel, and it's very exclusive. So he was like, okay, do you want to go there? I'm like, yeah. He did his research. So when you go there, there's levels. I think we went to level number 5, and we basically they only have 20 people inside, not where everybody goes in the Saxon Hotel. So when we went there, literally every meal was paired with wine, and it was just like, I think it was 5-course meal. I remember going there and I hated the food. Everything to me didn't taste good. Besides, back then I didn't even like a lot of food. I didn't like eating. And then he was just, I don't know, he was annoying while we were on a date, and I just left him there. It's even before Uber, so I literally just walked out of the restaurant while we're eating, and I left him, and I was crying. And I went downstairs the way like maxi taxis. I took a maxi taxi, and my car was parked in his house. I went to his house. Luckily, the security guys knew me. Took my car, I drove home, and I'm like, I'm done with this guy. I'm never gonna talk to him again. And I was not actually, what's the word, I didn't put my stuff like leave a toothbrush or clothes or whatever, because I knew that he was not my type of guy. I was not trying to, yeah, to be there for long. Woo. So I messaged him. I'm like, it's over, I'm done with him. Yeah. And that was it. And I went to club again, clubbing, yay. And I met a German guy. So okay, German, something different. And I remember this guy actually. Ooh, I don't know if I can confess because I feel like he watches my videos. But I am gonna confess because I'm here to just be honest. So the reason I dated this German guy to start with, when I bumped into him, I used to have a crush on this guy, J something. Or me and J something, that was like, I don't know. But yeah. So the German guy used to look like J something. And because I had a crush on J something, then I dated the German guy for wrong reason. Oh, okay. And yeah, so we dated, but he really liked me and all that, and he wanted us to move in together so early, like soon, like literally the moment I lived with him, he's like, okay, move in with me. But I already had my own place, so I didn't want to like cancel the lease because I was just knowing that I'm not really dating him for the right reason. Let me first to get to know him. So I got to know him, and yeah, I think the first 3 months was very nice. After 3 months, that's the honeymoon stage when it's over. It was really bad. And I remember because he was just like, oh, I'm going back to Germany to celebrate my Christmas. I haven't seen my family. I'm like, you're leaving me. Are you going to meet your family? What about me introducing me to your parents? He's like, okay, maybe we can go, but you have to pay for your own flight. I paid for my own flight. And I remember like everything in the relationship was like 50-50. I have nothing wrong with 50-50, but while you're trying to impress a girl, imagine. And I've heard this thing of saying German guys are stingy. That is the truth. And he was also abusive, emotional, and controlling. More controlling, I think. And he was also insecure. Oh, I hate insecure guys. And I remember when we went to Germany, we ended up planning a trip to France, to Paris, and we went to Amsterdam as well. And when we were there, he would like always just remind me the fact that he's paying for everything there, even though I paid for the flight, because he would pay for the other stuff. And he will tell me I shouldn't order like more than 2 drinks. Like, it was annoying. Like, oh my god, I don't even know why I stayed in that relationship for that long, because I was just like, why am I here? Yo, look, I'm not a gold digger and I don't date for money, and I've never dated for money, but I believe as a couple we should help each other financially, and you shouldn't point out that, oh, I bought that, I did that, and whatever. You should be generous. Being giving is part of love. When your partner is not giving towards you, what kind of love is that? What kind of relationship is that? So yeah, I was in that kind of relationship, and I remember telling myself that, okay, I'm not gonna dump this guy soon, because yeah, my friends are saying I can't keep a man. And you know what, let me just, for the first time, be with someone who really likes me. At least he doesn't cheat on me. And just be with him for a year. Maybe after a year, then I'll prove to my friends that I can keep a guy. And I had the longest relationship, then I'll dump him. And that's exactly what I did. But that was wrong, because that relationship ruined my life. It literally destroyed me. Literally, because I was having my modeling agency, I was doing my events and stuff like that. And when you're not in a good relationship, it flows to your work. Like, literally, I stopped working. I hated, I got depressed because of this individual. So there's this thing of like people thinking, okay, if you date a white man, you are dating like, oh, you are happy, they'll treat you like an egg. It's not the truth. It depends on a person, whether they're white or they're black. It depends, you know. So I remember just not wanting to date Germans at all. I remember after him, yes, I started being on Tinder, and then that's where I briefly dated this other German. He reminded me everything about my ex. I'm like, nope, I'm done with Germans. And obviously when I was dating him, it's when I started watching Jamie and Nikki. I'm like, maybe I should try Australians. Maybe they seem to be good. For me, Jamie seems to be good. And I was like, Australians would never be in South Africa. I've never met an Australian in South Africa. I've met Americans, I've met British, I've met Germans, lots of Germans in South Africa, but not Australian. It's just a dream. It'll never happen. When I saw Andrew was from Australia, beside me having this connection with him, I was just like, that's coincident. I mean, power of attraction. Wow. I thought I thought Australians are good guys, and Andrew appeared to be a good guy, but I definitely kissed a lot of frogs, and black or white, you know, before I could meet my Prince Charming, which is Andrew, my husband right now, and we've been together for 6 years, and I'm blessed to have someone like him, because what made me to be with him and want to marry him is because of him being kind, him being generous. I remember when I just started dating him, he said to me, he's like, I want to take you to London and I'll pay for everything, and don't worry. I was like, what? And he booked you know, I met him in April, and he booked, I think in May, he booked their trip, and in September we went to London and went to Scotland, and it was nice. He never complained that he's spending a cent on me or whatever. And even though when I met him I was not in a good shape, I told him, I'm like, look, this is what's happening, even like career wise and whatever. He was very supportive, very helpful, like wanting to see me win. So I knew that this is the kind of person I want to be with for the rest of my life. So yeah, there it is, guys. So don't think a white man will solve your problem. Don't think you'll be happy when you date a white man. Personally, I think you can date any race as long as a good man, as long as a kind man. And yeah, but definitely if you want to go and date out of your race, I would definitely encourage that. And my tips is that most of us, we are scared. First and foremost, be you. Everyone will fall in love with the fact that you are yourself, you know. And we are all humans, and you should be very open when you date out of your race. And because you're from different backgrounds and different cultures, you need to meet each other halfway. Just like any other, when you date Venda or you date Tsonga and you're a different tribe, you know, there's difference. Or you marry Nigerian or Zimbabwean, different tribes. So you need to be knowing that you're going to compromise, and you are open and you're understanding. So relationships are all the same regardless of race, and there's no like, oh, interracial relationship are easy or are the best or are the worst or are difficult. They're just all relationship at the end of the day. So we're gonna talk a lot about relationship in this channel, on this channel, and stay tuned. And thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe and comment and share to your friend. And yeah, we'll chat more. I'll give you guys a lot of story time. I think the next story time I'll be talking about how I started my business with no money at all. So yeah, bye bye. Thank you for watching.